This is Frank from Virtucon 10, bringing you an update on the cloud server. So we can currently see we have two instances running, an OpenVPN instance and a file server instance. For our file server, we're using Ubuntu 14.02, and it's currently being hosted by AWS. So let's take a look at our OpenVPN server. So from this we can see there's currently no users on. We have our admin settings, and we can actually stop the server from here if we wanted to. So let's have a quick look at our IP address. And as you can see, it's 137.166.154.167. So if we go ahead and start up Wireshark before we connect to the OpenVPN server. So if we click Ethernet and then click Start, now we can see we have a Wireshark running. If we go ahead and connect to our VPN server, if we log in with our credentials, and if you give it a few seconds, the packets will start to get traced. So there we go, we've got multiple packets. As they come through, we've been given a notification saying that our connection to the VPN has been established. So as these packets come through, we can just see what's going on. So now if we jump back to what's my IP and give it a refresh, you'll see that it hasn't updated yet, but we'll just keep refreshing. So as you can see, the addresses have been updated and we are now connected to our VPN. So we can close that, and if you go back to the OpenVPN server, we can see that our VPN and our real address have all been updated. It did take a little while to connect, but we are through. It's pretty much what we can get out of this now. If we go to our file server and grab our address, we copy that one. So open up a new tab, and we go into this /owncloud. So let's just let that load up. And as you can see, I've already logged in. We now have a Virtucon folder being created, and as an admin, we can actually go through and see our users. And we can create a new account with a password, set the group permissions, and whatnot. So if we jump back to the files, as you can see, there's no files in here. So we've gone ahead and set up a file sync. I'll tell Wireshark, we can close that. So we can see our own cloud shortcut down here. So this is a file, we've got Virtucon, and we've got nothing in there. So if we go back to our website and we go create a new text folder, let's call it Hello World, and create that. Let's just write some tests, Hello World. We can save that one. And we can exit out of this now, and we see it's been created. If we now go back to our files, we can see that it should be updated. So as you can see, we're sitting in the Virtucon folder, and if we give it a few seconds, it should sync and update. And there we go, we see our file has been updated and synced. We've even got a little notification. And look, there's the text. So if we go ahead and modify this, so if this is modify, and we close that and save it, so we can get out of that now. And if we now head back to our own, so we go back to the home page. We can see it's been updated a few seconds ago. If you click text, it says this has been modified, which is our update. Now to set up a syncing backup, all we would have to do is set the backup of the file server to go into our shortcut, and it would automatically update. We can also go ahead and set permissions on who can actually view this. So as you can see, I've currently shared this with all three users, but I can actually take off their permissions. So if we get rid of that, we now log out and log in as, say, Aubrey. That. We'll see we have a Virtucon folder which has been shared. We have a text, but we cannot edit it. Another thing we can do is, as you can see, I'm logged in as Aubrey, and I can actually go ahead and create a new folder. Say if I call it the Aubrey folder, and I can actually choose who I share it with. So if I type in, let's say Griffith, click them. And we're actually not going to allow them to delete or anything. We're going to allow them to create changes. They're not going to be allowed to create any actual files, and they cannot delete anything. So now that we've done that, let's go into here. Let's go new, text, hi Griffith, and you can see that's been created. If we now jump out of their account, and let's log in as Griffith, we have the Albury folder saying hi Griffith. There's no text because we didn't actually enter any text, but if we go hi Albury, we can save that. Jump out of this though, and we do not have permission to delete. As you can see, we also cannot create anything as there's no create button. But if we go back to the Albury, you can see that the Albury text doc has been updated saying hi Albury, which is what the Griffith account has said. But we do have permission to delete, so let's delete that one. So yeah, that pretty much sums up our file server. You can see that's been running and it syncs. And I'll now pass you on to David from the Albury site.
Hi there, this is David from VirtualCon Team 10 Albury site, and here I'm going to show you how this virtual machine is connected to my domain, virtualcon10.com. I'll show you that it's been given an IP address from the DHCP pool, and yeah. So here I'll log in to staff account, staff 1, which has been pre-made. See, it's logging into VirtualCon 10 domain. Let's log in. Okay, we're starting. So here I've been logged in on staff 1. I'll show that it's connected to the domain, IP config. It's got virtualcon10.com. It's been given an IP address from the DHCP pool from the org main server, and it's using their default gateway. Now I will go to the shared files and show that it can only access the files it's allowed to. Let's go to the file server, to the shared file, and see it's only found the folder it's allowed to use. So it's guest, it's able to enter, public, and staff. So now if I log out of this account, and sign into a manager's account, they will have more folders that are accessed that I've already created from the file server. So I'll log into manager 1. Again, it's signed in through VirtualCon 10, the domain. Again, I'll show it's signed in properly. Yeah, it's got another random address from the pool. And then I'll just go into the file server, and now it's got access to different folders that the staff did not. So they've got access to all these now. So now I will show you that the manager 1 doesn't have rights to delete any folders, but they have rights to access. So if I delete, it will come up as they have permissions, but yet they're allowed to access and add to the folder. Now I'll show that remote profiling is working. So for instance, if I create a folder here, and change the background to anything really, this, and then sign out of manager 1. Then I go to a different virtual machine. I go to this one and sign in to manager 1 from here. desktop has saved its data and created the folder. So now if I go back to my server, Windows Server 2012, this is my Albury main computer with connected to the domain. So it has 80 Active Directory installed, DHCP, and the DNS is all run from this server. So this will manage the groups, the users that has been created, and organisational units that have also been created. And if I log into my file server, this is where all the share files are held. So this is also connected to the same domain with nick teaming enabled. The IP address is being configured. And if I go file resource, server resource management, this is where file screening has been created for the share file, where audio and video files are blocked. And then if I go back to my main server, Albury main, here I'll show that the server is getting backed up locally. So you get successful backup before, and the backup has been created.
I will now pass you on to Frankie, who will take us through the final demonstration.
Welcome to the final demonstration of Virtucon 10's project. Today we'll be showing you our VPN connection and the file sharing service between the Albury and Cloud sites. Joining us via screen sharing is David of the Albury site. To start, David's server will connect to the VPN. It's also important to note that we are also connected to the VPN. As you can see, it's currently connecting to the VPN and it won't take a few seconds. As you can see, we've been notified that he is now successfully connected to our virtual private network. Now to demonstrate our file sharing capabilities, now that we're both connected to our VPN, David will create a file and share it to me via the folders we have created. As you can see, he's just created a notepad, and we'll wait for him to get the synchronization notification. As you can see, the file has been transferred, and this concludes our presentation.